Welcome back. I want to jump straight into this discussion on Crash Out. There's a few different angles I want to approach this by. First of all, it took a little minute to start. I feel like it was there was some points in the plot that were predictable to me. Like, for example, his student Chad, the main character, um, his student that he ended up messing with. Like, I saw that coming, so that wasn't anything. And I'm not trying to say that it was supposed to be a surprise plot. I'm just saying it was just kind of predictable that okay, this movie put me in the mindset of a thin line between love and hate. And it's funny because one of the characters mentioned that once homegirl started acting crazy, because it's like, okay, just like with what's his name, Darnell in a Thin Line Between Love and Hate, the role that Martin played. Okay, he played a player. He had to have the different women or whatever, and then he met Brandy, and Brandy wasn't paying him no attention. Now that's the difference in this one, is the girl in this one, Essence, she was feeling him from the beginning, whereas Brandy wasn't feeling Darnell for a minute. And, he made the bet to his friend, yeah, I bet you I can get with her, blah, blah, blah. Of course, if you've seen the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate, once he got with her, he started talking to the woman who he's known since he was younger. And parallels to Crash Out, once he starts messing with Essence and everything, he starts talking to this lady who he's been crushing on. And starts talking to her. Now, the thing, though, is I got kind of, I don't know if lost is the word, but he was like going back and forth between Essence, because once he told Essence, look, we're not together. And so then she was like, okay, fine. So she starts doing her thing, and then he kind of tried to get upset, like his friend saw her out walking with another guy. He rushes over to her house and sees her at the house. He calls his friend, well, that couldn't have been her because she's in her house in her pajamas. And it's like, you just told this girl y'all weren't together. You flip, because see, at this point, I'm like, oh, so he's going to be the one crashing out. That's what was going through my mind when I saw him fly up over her house, wondering what she doing and stuff after you done sat there and told this girl y'all aren't together. So I'm like, okay, he's the crash out. Part of the fun of the movie was trying to figure out who the crash out was, because I'm like, is it him? Is it Essence? He was also screwing his lawyer. He was just a messy dude, but the women he was talking to were messy too. Because at one point I thought the lawyer that he was messing with, who's engaged herself, I thought maybe she was the one going to crash out. So I'm like, okay, let's see who this nutcase is going to be, right? So the girl that he'd been knowing for a while, this part kind of got on my nerves. He was like, they were laying on the couch. He's like, I'm just letting you know, I don't know if I can be a one-woman man. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm just going to be screwing everything out there. I'm just saying, in her responses, well, as long as I'm happy, I mean, I know how you are. As long as I'm happy and you don't have me in no mess, I'm good. I'm sorry, I don't believe that for 1 second. I think she just wanted dude and just was willing to deal with it. I understand there's some people who are have poly relationships, open relationships, they have an understanding. I do get that, but I don't feel like she was like that, because first of all, she was engaged, but she broke up with him because he was cheating on her. So if you really for real didn't have a problem with your man messing with other women, why would you agree to it with Chad? You just wanted Chad. That's all that was. So you're willing to sit there and deal with him and other women just so you can have them. So they're at the club or bar or whatever. He's looking at this girl all in front of her face. And she's like, go and talk to her. And he was like, what? What you mean? So she goes and talks to her. Of course, they end up having a threesome. Like, I don't know. I'm not one of these people that use pick me all the time, but if your fiance, a man that you're going to marry, can get broken up with because he was cheating on you, now all of a sudden you're open to all this stuff. Girl, please. She kind of got on my nerves, honey. Everybody got on my nerves in this, really. I mean, everybody was just trifling, except honestly, Essence, to me, even though she did end up being the one kind of going crazy, she wasn't trifling. She was just crazy, if you get what I'm saying. And this is where he messed up at. First of all, he's a professor. Essence was a student of his. I was nervous at first because I'm like, Lord, please don't let this be no high school class. But, he's a professor at a college, university, whatever. While she was getting help with her math, she was talking about, I'm trying to get custody of my daughter. She was in and out of court about her daughter. He should have, once he started getting involved with her, like, I understand as a professor, that's none of your business. But once you start sleeping with this woman, you should have asked her, okay, how come you don't have custody of your child? Because we all know when it comes to custody, if you see a woman not have full custody of her child or get custody taken away, it's serious. Because I'm not going to say the courts usually side with women, but I mean, usually if there's a divorce, if there's a child support or like whatever is going on as far as that's concerned, the children usually go with the mom. So he should have asked her, why you don't have custody of your kids? Because it's not that she gave it up, because she was constantly back and forth in court, in and out of court, trying to get custody. So what's up? So his lawyer, homie, lover, friend that, he was messing with prior, did a background and found out that, she a little loco, she a little crazy. And that's why she had her child taken away from her and everything, which, like I said, that's something he should have found out before he started jumping on top of her. I do feel like the ending was rushed. Now, the movie is like an hour and 40 minutes long, right? Standard movies are usually like an hour and a half. It's like at the end when she started flipping out, she's coming into his house, she's filming him and his new girl doing it, and they ended up getting fired or put on leave or something like that. Towards the end, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she has this brother that's getting out of prison, and her brother were in foster care together, and he killed her, like two of her boyfriends or something like that. And so when the brother gets out, there's a scene where he's standing there outside the prison, and I'm guessing Essence's sister or something is telling him about what happened with her, because he got this look on his face like, oh, hell no. It's like, dude, you just got out. You just got out. Stay free. Don't go back in because you're trying to help your crazy sister. And so Essence, this scene I don't get, because, they were scrambling. She was had the gun on what's that man, Chad's girlfriend. They were scrambling over the gun. Then the lawyer chick ran up in there with her gun, and then it cuts the scene to her brother getting out. And then the last scene of the movie is Essence laying in a bed. I couldn't tell. I'm like, is that a hospital bed or is that an mental institution bed? She's just laying there, and then of course, dramatic effect, she opens her eyes and then the credits come on. So I'm like, did she get shot? Did she get arrested and put into this institution? And now I'm looking at it like, okay, with these movies that get uploaded to Tubi, sometimes they will have a part 2. So if this movie were to have a part two, I would be willing to watch it because there's just that ending was too. Usually, when you see an ending like that, there's a part two coming because it was like the last 15 minutes was just this rush job of, oh, her brother out of nowhere comes out of, you know what I'm saying, comes out of prison, and we finally get all this information about Essence, which I feel like we should have gotten that information a little earlier on in the movie instead of that the very last few minutes of the movie. That's just my opinion. I think if we kind of if we I feel like if we knew that, it would have, I don't know, like anybody could see she was crazy. I just feel like that information of exactly what kind of crazy should have been shown a little bit earlier than what it was. Like I said, I feel like the ending was a rush job or whatever. But if there is a part two, I will be watching because I feel like the introduction of the brother is probably gonna be the catalyst to a part two. So let me know what you think about Crash Out. All right. Let me know in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Shout out to my 189 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you know you can hit that button for me. I very much appreciate it. Peace and blessings to every last one of you watching. Until next time.